Danger. The emergency disrupt system is now. Disrupt system is now.
It's hard being a teenager, and nothing really makes it easier, but the growing pains are sometimes soothed by youth group and being able to know that other people are going through what you're going through and hearing advice for those problems.
What I love most about youth group would definitely, hands down, be the sermons.
Ed's messages are definitely unforgettable. For baptism, he buried me alive in dirt, which went everywhere. For showing that Christ covers you, he poured 5 gallons of mud on me, which mud went everywhere. And he also pied me 9 times.
So we learned about forgiveness and how, first of all, you just got to take responsibility for whatever you've done. And we watched this great clip of Robert Downey Jr. giving a speech, and he was talking about how Mel Gibson had helped him out when he was going through a tough time, and how you have to hug the cactus is the analogy he used, and how also you just got to feel remorseful for what you've done. And
I remember a time when we talked about Robert Downey Jr. going through rehab and drugs and all that, and then talking about disciples and whatnot having hard times believing in God, and I kind of related to that on a level of like, oh hey, I don't like to listen to my parents and peers, and then go and listen to that, and it makes sense, and then I'm like, hey, maybe I should start to like change and not be mean about everything.
there was a message that Ed talked about not too long ago. It was a passage from Proverbs. There's a way that seems right, but the end result is death. And he used a great example of a video in England of these 2 teenagers that had the great idea to eat a ghost pepper. And it was just a great example of that not all of our ideas have a great result at the end.
The pig and the meerkat from The Lion King, and how Simba would spend a lot of time with them, and he didn't realize that they were really distracting him from his true destiny.
This youth group definitely has a different approach than others. Ed keeps it more related to us and up to date with current events, which definitely makes the messages a lot more understandable and a lot more personal.
How that lesson relates to me in my life is oftentimes I find myself getting distracted with either the wrong people or just the wrong things and making the wrong decisions. And that's really stopping me from living my true destiny and what I'm supposed to do in my life. And I just think that if I just kind of took a step back sometimes and just thought about who I was hanging out with and how they were affecting my life, I could really just cut all of the bad things out of my life and just start on my path to my destiny.
It's like a spiritual switch has been turned back on in the youth group, and it's cool because Ed has taught us to be responsible. He's brought us into situations in order to push us just to our limits, or even past that in order to get us to that point.